Brett Favre and wide receiver Sterling Sharp control the Green Bay Packers offense with a strong and explosive flair. This record-breaking combination bears the burden of a Packer attack still searching for balance, consistency, and a performance worthy of their lofty expectations. Meanwhile, Monday night, the resurgent Philadelphia Eagles soundly trounced the Chicago Bears. Led by a prolific passing game and a crushing defense, Philadelphia soared to an impressive victory, giving themselves a much-needed emotional lift. Today, emotion will again run high as a familiar face returns to the city of brotherly love. Welcome to Philadelphia, and Veterans Stadium is sold out, and the first of what will be many throwbacks weekends where teams will wear the uniforms of the past. And today, the Green Bay Packers take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and both teams 1-1 coming into today's action. And hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and a throwback to some great Philadelphia Eagle defensive teams. Reggie White, the Minister of Defense, comes back to Philadelphia for the first time in the uniform of the Green Bay Packers. But Matt Millen, we're going to shift our focus to what has been a struggling Green Bay offense. And yesterday, Sterling Sharp was visibly frustrated over it all.
Yeah, he was agitated and concerned. Cause of concern, they haven't been running the football well. And if they're not running the football well, then they become a one-dimensional team. And that, of course, is the passing game. And last week, he felt he didn't get enough of the passing game thrown his way. If they're going to do well today, they've got to get the ball fast to Sterling Sharp and do it often.
Tell you, the guy who got the ball to his receivers early and often was Randall Cunningham on Monday night. And no matter how you slice the Eagles, it all comes down to the performance of their quarterback.
Yeah, and you know, they did something interesting. If you listen to Bradshaw on the pregame show, he told you about that little 3-second clock they did, the basketball clock. That's really helped Cunningham. And what it's done, it's got his mindset to the point where he knows when to get rid of the ball. But more important, it's got his offensive linemen and his receivers in a good cadence.
So one of these teams will go 2-1. And there you get a look at the uniforms of old as the Packers and the Eagles go at it. And we'll return to Veterans Stadium for the opening kickoff after these messages from your local Fox station. Beautiful day here at Veterans Stadium, and a slight breeze and a capacity crowd to see if the Eagles can come back on a short week. Chris Jackie will kick off for the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles, who have won the toss, will get the ball first. Jeff Seidner and Vaughn Hebron are back to receive. And it's heading over toward Hebron at the 2-yard line. Vaughn Hebron brings it out beyond the 30-yard line, and the Philadelphia Eagles will go to work. Randall Cunningham, back-to-back 300-yard games for the first time in his career. And these starting lineups are brought to you by Zima, rookie Bernard Williams, Antone Davis, David Alexander, Lester Holmes, and Broderick Thompson. The offensive line superb Monday night. Herschel Walker and James Joseph in the backfield. Calvin Williams and Fred Barnett, the most prolific tandem of wide receivers in the NFL now, and Mark Bavaro is the tight end. Ball at the 31-yard line. And a play fake. Big rush on Cunningham. And the Packers came storming in, and we're going to look at Reggie White today as he came in. Pass was intended for James Joseph. Defensively for the Green Bay Packers, Sean Jones, Steve McMichael, John Yurkovich, and, of course, Reggie White up front. George Kuntz, Fred Strickland, and Bryce Popp are the Packer linebackers, and they're beaten up a bit in the secondary. Doug Evans, George Teague, Tim Hawk is playing in place of Leroy Butler, who has pneumonia, and Terrell Buckley is the other cornerback. It'll be 2nd and 10. Calvin Williams in motion. This time it's James Joseph on the ground, and he picks up maybe a couple. 3rd and long coming up.
3rd and long, and of course that means passing down, and that comes on the shows on the folders. How's that? Falls on the shoulders of Randall Cunningham.
It does that too.
Yeah, and you know what else falls on the shoulders of Cunningham? The entire offense. As Cunningham goes, so go the Philadelphia Eagles. In week 1, very inconsistent. They get the loss. Week 2, he was hot as a pistol, and they get the win.
Nickel defense for the Packers on 3rd and 8. And movement. No penalty marker thrown, and the pass is incomplete. Good coverage back there by the rookie Lenny McGill.
Very good coverage. Good close on the football. And it's a good confidence booster for the rookie out there. You know, McGill's going to draw tough right here. You watch him on Barnett. Watch him breaking the ball. Look at him drive. He's reading the thing the whole way. Good zone defense. Sat back, watched the quarterback make the decision, and then made his own break.
Mitch Berger will kick for the Eagles, who are 3 and out, and Robert Brooks is back deep. Brooks back to the 10-yard line. Great kick by Chris Berger, and a penalty flag is down after a sensational 57-yard kick by Mitch Berger, the rookie from Colorado. And now you see the officials also wearing the caps emblematic of past days, and the preliminary signal could be against the Eagles. Our referee is Gary Lane in a face mask call against Philadelphia.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask, number 44 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch it come right at the end. There's the hand that's attached. And, you know, sometimes it happens. We said last week, a hand will get caught in there, and it's really tough to get it out.
Mark Woodard was the guilty party, so that took the Packers out of deep trouble as a result of the penalty. So it's a first down for Brett Favre on the Green Bay 35. Brooks goes in motion, and the give is to Edgar Bennett. Edgar Bennett breaks one and gets a first down and a gain of 13 yards. So Brett Favre, who was nearly replaced at halftime by Mike Holmgren last week, was that ineffective in the first half as the Packers were blown out. Up front, Ken Rutgers, Frank Winters, Jamie Dukes, Harry Galbraith, and Paul Hutchins is starting in place of the injured Joe Sims. Reggie Cobb and Bennett in the backfield, Sterling Sharp and Robert Brooks the receivers, and Ed West the tight end. A first down on the Green Bay 48. Now they send Sharp to the top. And Favre is going to him immediately, and McMillan makes the tackle. He's undersized, and he made the tackle and a gain of only 3 for Sharp and the Packers there. Defensively for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they've gotten a lot better defensively. Greg Townsend, William Perry, Andy Harmon, and William Fuller. Fuller especially has been tough. In the linebackers, William Thomas, Byron Evans in the middle, and Bill Romanowski. Eric Allen and Mark McMillan the corners, and Greg Jackson and Michael Zordich the improved safeties for the Eagles. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Way over here.
And a play fake, and Favre is going to be sacked. Back at the original line of scrimmage, and Greg Townsend, the former L.A. Raider, and a loss of 1.
You know, it's funny, when you watch this game today, you're really almost going to see two offenses that mirror each other. A lot of things come down on the shoulders of the quarterback. It's the same deal as it is in Philadelphia and in Green Bay. Sharp has to carry the offense. It's important for them to get out and establish the run early. It's trite. It's talked about each week, but you have to at least try it and have a little success.
It'll be 3rd down and 8. Here comes pressure on Favre, and his pass intended for Anthony Morgan on the sideline. He was open despite the nickel defense by the Eagles, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, he got some pressure. Favre's going to have to. Remember last week he came out and he got rattled early? He's got to settle down. He's an emotional guy. He's one of those guys that if things go wrong early, it carries into the 2nd, sometimes 3rd quarter. That's why it's important for him to have completions and success early.
There is Jeff Seidner, who is back to receive the kick from Craig Hentrick. There's a flag now. Fair catch called for by Seidner, who fields it on the 17-yard line, but a penalty upfield. And a legal procedure called against the Packers. So do the Eagles want it on the 17
Illegal
or they want to
formation.
re-kick?
Offense, number 22, lined up in the backfield. Only 6 men on the line. Penalties decline. First down.
So Randall Cunningham will go to work again. No score. Each team has had the ball once here at the Vet. Matt Millen back at Veterans Stadium, no score. Last week against Miami, Fritz Shermer, the Packers defensive coordinator, had Green Bay in a nickel against Dan Marino and got burned with the run. He has a regular defense out there now. It'll be first down on the 18-yard line. We're going to try to run with Herschel Walker off the right side. And Walker has a first down. Kuntz and Buckley on the stop. And a gain of 13 yards for Walker, who gained 72 yards against the Bears on Monday.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes you talk about the running games of both teams. Herschel Walker for the Philadelphia Eagles is a guy you kind of forget. And he's going to get outside in the corner. A nice job by Josephs right here. See the block right there? That allows him to get just enough. And, you know, Herschel Walker, we talked to him yesterday. Herschel Walker says, look, I am not only the best conditioned running back in the league, but he said, I'll lay a wager to anybody. I'm the fastest running back in this league, even now.
Proved it against the Giants with that great run after the catch. First down on the 31. Cunningham to throw, and it's caught by James Joseph. And a good gain of at least 6 yards on that play. And Doug Evans, the cornerback, making the tackle.
And I think right there you're seeing what that 3-second clock does for Cunningham. Remember, we talked about it, and Bradshaw talked about it in the pregame show. Richie Kotite went out up to the Jets to practice, and he saw on the sideline that they had a basketball clock that was winding down to give him the entire offense a sense of timing. He liked it so much he brought it here, he ordered it, didn't get here on time, had to wait for a part. Now he has it, and Cunningham's getting used to a quicker throwing rhythm.
Second down and 4. And James Joseph off the left side. You know, that idea for the 3-second clock came from Ali Sherman, who was Rich Kotite's coach when he played for the New York Giants in the 60s. And he talks to Ali Sherman, who is still kind of a father to him, and he was the one who first gave Richie the idea. And of course, the two have remained very close. Kotite, who played at Wagner College in Staten Island and was a member of some successful Giant teams. Third down and 2 for the Eagles on their 39. No score here in the first quarter. Two tight ends for Philadelphia. Going to throw on 3rd and 2, and he hits his man, Maurice Johnson. And that second tight end gives the Eagles another first down.
You know, it's interesting how this offense with the Philadelphia Eagles with Randall Cunningham was a guy who would go back and hold the ball. You know, everybody went to the 3-step drop, get rid of the ball. And here they were. They had just let it go. And now, all of a sudden this year, it hits them. We got to let Randall get rid of the ball quicker. You can see 2 seconds, that ball's gone.
And Rich Kotite said it kind of keeps everyone on his toes, makes practice a lot more interesting this way. First down on the 46. And Yurkovich might have been drawn offside. We'll wait for Gary Lane to tell us.
Talk about throwbacks.
Encroachment defense, number 64, 5-yard penalty.
There's a throwback. John Yurkovich, he's the original throwback. Heck, he sat out there before the game. You know, he's got one of those bodies that a garbage truck driver would be proud of. In fact, see this right here? One of the trainers went and painted some abs on because he said he'd never get any kind of definition other than this. See that?
He doesn't need a uniform to be a throwback. First and 5 now following the penalty. On the Packer 49, Walker has nowhere to go. And loses 1 yard on the play. Terrell Buckley finally got in, but that was great penetration by the Packers.
Yeah, great penetration by Reggie White. It's interesting, the other night, Reggie White got very frustrated against the Dolphins. They were not running at him at all. In fact, at one point in the game, he turned to Ron Heller, the offensive tackle, and said, what the heck's going on? Nobody's running over here. He said, hey, I asked them not to run over here. Well, look, the second run, first and second run that the Eagles have done has gone right to Reggie White.
And he said he was going to be nervous coming back home and thought he'd get a great reception. It was mixed, but more cheers than boos. Second down and 6.